as a tree knot.
What is that? What is that?
So that's
translate
kind of
that
how,
for me.
yeah, so that's kind of how Bigfoots communicate out there in the woods. They'll whack trees and things like that. I know it might sound a little strange to the average person, but it's been pretty well documented throughout the history of Bigfoot research.
Oh, it's well known that a knock on the trees is actually a Bigfoot communicating.
And we'll do howls and things like that out there to try to stir up some activity. Well, I could do one here if you guys want to hear.
Who wants to hear? We all want to hear. What does it sound like? Okay.
Hello and welcome back to Fumbling Through the Galaxy with your host Severus Snape. Today we're going to continue looking at the Gentle Giant statues. Again, we're going to go back to the original trilogy and look at two characters that I absolutely loved growing up, and even more so as I got older and started reading the expanded universe and even some of the TV shows that have later and movies that have later come out. One is a mysterious character who actually had no lines at all, not that I know of. Might be wrong, let me know of course in the comments if I am, but I don't believe he had any lines in the original trilogy, and yet his myth, his legend, his mysteriousness just added to his character for many decades until of course he got his own TV show. By now you know exactly who I'm talking about. The other of course was someone who had a ton of lines and was absolutely iconic in his role as the everyman who becomes the hero figure that he did not want to be. Of course, I'm referring to Boba Fett, the bounty hunter, as well as Han Solo, the famous smuggler. And so this is a statue that I found in the wild as I was hunting through cons, which is always the way that I like to do things. I always love the in-person interaction with fellow collectors, and I love to hear how they come about their pieces, as well as, you know, how I acquire the piece. Just adds to kind of my affinity for the pieces that I collect. This was an Entertainment Earth exclusive and is one that is actually quite difficult to find. And this is the Star Wars animated style Boba Fett with Han and Carbonite. So as you can see, this is a fantastic statue. It's a fantastic sculpt. It's one that I really look forward to showing you on the table. But before we get to the table, I'm curious. Who is your favorite bounty hunter? Who is your favorite smuggler or scoundrel? What are the most iconic scenes that you think of when you think of Star Wars? Is it Boba and Han and Carbonite? Is it Luke rising the X-Wing out of the swamps? Is it Luke in the cave facing Vader, who's really himself? What are the most iconic moments that you think of when you think of Star Wars? Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you want, and let's get to the table and take a look at this figure. So here's the figure out of box. You can see the level of sculpt, the level of color. Everything just looks great. I mean, they really, really nailed the details. I mean, the paint apps from Gentle Giant are great. I have heard that, I believe since Diamond Select bought them, some people I've heard on some YouTube channels complaining about the quality having gone down. I haven't seen it. But again, I'm collecting stuff that's mostly circa, 2009, 2010 when it comes to specifically these maquettes. But I will say that on the mini busts that I collect, which are coming out currently, they look great. Like that Amidala Padme, new one from the Clone Wars, mini bust is fantastic. We'll take a look at that one at some point, I'm sure. So there's a paint app. So dynamic movement in the cape, which I love. Dynamic movement at the bottom of the carbonite chamber, which I think is awesome. Han looking very happy to be frozen in carbonite, I'm sure. So yeah, all in all, just a great figure. Really, really enjoyed this. Now, picked up this one from a vendor at Comic-Con, one of the comic conventions that I go to here in Toronto. The cool thing is, this is not something that he even had on his table. So, when you get to know people and you go to a lot of these conventions, when you get to know people and you chat them up and talk to them, tell them what you're looking for, tell them what you're into. You never know. So this gentleman happened to actually have a few of these maquettes that were not clone eras, but that were original trilogy. Some of them really hard to find, like this is one of the rare ones. And said, hey, you know what, reach out to me privately and let's see if we can swing a deal. And so at the next con rolled around, a couple weeks beforehand, showed me what he had, and I said, yeah, bring them to your table, and pick them all up. So it was cool knowing ahead of time what I was going to grab, helped me budget, helped me save a little money, helped me be ready for what I was going to walk into. Helped him too, right? Because these are collectors that are, renting out these tables and well, not all of them, obviously there's some businesses, but a lot of collectors. Surprised to find out that a lot of these guys are guys like you and me, kind of accumulated a lot of stuff and said, in thinking, you know what, I need to kind of get rid of some of it, purge so that I can add, or purge because I'm just out of the game. And so there they are. And so it's a really worthwhile getting to know people, which is why I really, really prefer doing most of my collecting in person. So that's the Boba Fett with Hans and Carbonite Gentle Giant Maquette 2009. Entertainment Earth exclusive. Hope you guys enjoyed that one.